live on YouTube. We should be live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? Can you hear me clearly and see me clearly? Let me know. I'm trying to figure out which way to go because I want to be near overhangs in case it starts to rain. It's been raining here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And while it's not raining right now, there is like a 5% chance of rain. So it is possible. Queen is here. You're good. You are good. Thank you, Queen. How are you doing today? I'm sure you heard the story about, what's his name, Steve Bannon? Boy, things in our government just continue to get a little bit crazy. Hey Gary, how you doing? Great to see you here. More construction at the park. They've actually blocked off, driving through that side and walking through that side. So I'm like trying to figure my way out. I came to the park today because there are overhangs here in case it rains. And so I'm just trying to do what I got to do. I'm going to take a little bit of a different route than usual. And we're just going to wait a few more minutes here before we get to the topic here today, which is going to be regarding why men ghost women. And more men are beginning to ghost women nowadays. Have the tables started to turn? Have men started to figure this dating game out? And again, I refer to it as a dating game, even though it really shouldn't be a game. It has become a game. But it will only remain a game if you choose to make it a game. If you take it seriously and know how to handle yourself and know when to hold them and know when to fold them, you're going to be all right eventually. Eli, don't worry about the news. I am on top of everything. Well, Quinn, let's talk about that here. Bannon, being held in contempt for not providing information regarding the insurrection. And he's saying he's not providing that information because that's the information that was part of Trump's administration. And until, I guess, to put it in layman's terms, until Trump says it's okay to release that information, which will probably be never because it'll probably, prove that he's guilty of many things, we can't put that information out there. So, good old Stevie, good old Bannon, hey, if you're not going to, put out information in a case, you're going to be held in contempt. You want to be held in contempt over Donald J. Trump? That's on you, dude. It just really, really makes me wonder how far some people will go to protect this one man and why. Why? If there's nothing to hide, if there's absolutely nothing to hide, why not just put it all out there, right? Whenever people try to hide things, right? Especially in a legal matter with the United States government, then they're trying to protect someone. In this case, they're trying to protect Donald J. Trump. What was that? Did that car like screech at its brakes for a second just because he saw a camera? Anyway, No, Queen, here's the thing. If people have nothing to hide and they're being subpoenaed to, you know, they have records subpoenaed for a federal case, for a government case regarding violence at our nation's capital, and they refuse to provide that information, then they're hiding something. Queen, it's obvious. Why won't he just provide that information? Right? Because it'll prove Donald J. Trump guilty, 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 guilty. That's my opinion. Until it's proven a fact, I'll just say it's an opinion. There's nothing, Queen, there's no conspiracy theory on this. This one is what it is. This has nothing to do with political party choice or preference or whatever. This has to do with simply providing the information that you were subpoenaed to provide. Hey, Lewis, how you doing? Eli, it's all BS. Let it go, please. It's not BS, Queen. Queen, listen. If there's nothing to hide, if former President Donald J. Trump did nothing wrong, Queen, why not provide information that would exonerate him? Anytime you withhold information, Queen, it's because you are hiding the truth. Not you, I'm saying in general, right? Heck, even in Congress, even 9 Republicans voted for this. I have respect for those Republicans. The other ones are just protecting Trump, because they're thinking that Trump's going to get into office in 2024, and if they're still in Congress, they want to be taken care of, right? That's why they call it politics. And that's why I can't stand politics. I mean, I'm getting interrupted by a lot of people today already. This is not going to be my main place to broadcast live anymore from, because of all the interruptions and just lots of other reasons. But when it's raining and there's a chance of rain, I got to be somewhere where I can hit an overhang if it does rain. And I still want to get my walks in, even when it's raining. But anyway, enough of the politics. We'll just see what happens. I wanted to throw that in there at the beginning of this stream and just kind of throw in the filler until more people show up. I gotta always say, I'm very, very alert and very, very aware of anything and everything going on in my life, and I want to teach you folks to be able to be very, very self-aware and aware of your surroundings and everything, right? So, by the way, later tonight, I'm going to be starting to batch record some pre-recorded videos for my new content, my new pre-recorded content that will be elsewhere from this channel here, the Coach Eli, Elias Melas channel. And I've already got some I've got some. I'm going to surprise you folks. Let me not say too much. I'm going to surprise you folks. got some new stuff coming out. All right, so let's just go ahead and get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live from Red Morton Park, beautiful Redwood City, California. This is episode number 159. And the topic today is, ladies, most men have a good reason on why they ghost you. Here's why. One more time, ladies. Most men have a good reason on why they ghost you. Here's why, ... Well, let me provide the ... What comes next, right? If you're a man or a woman and you've used online dating sites or dating apps, or you've been single and dating in this modern dating world over the last 5 years or so, you've just noticed how incredibly difficult it's become to connect with people. You've, probably by now have heard of a word called being ghosted. When I first heard the word being ghosted, I had no clue what it meant. Anytime I would hear the word ghost or a variation of the word ghost, like ghosted, I would always think of Casper the Friendly Ghost. I would think of, stuff like that, right? Like paranormal stuff like that, right? But the term ghosted or being ghosted has become very, very popular. It's what many men and women do to each other on these dating sites or dating apps. Or even if you meet in the real world, offline, initially, and you exchange numbers, you can still ghost the other person by blocking their number, right? We're living in a world of we ghost people instead of telling them we no longer want to see them anymore or talk with them anymore, right? That's because modern technologies made it very easy to do so. Back in the days when I was younger, before even cell phones became popular and cheap enough for all of us to have one nowadays, we had a landline phone, and there wasn't even caller ID back then. This is before caller ID came out. Back in the days, you'd have to pick up the phone, a landline phone, and dial the 7 digits, right? And you'd have to actually call someone, and they wouldn't know that you were calling them. So they would have to pick up the phone and say hello, right? Now, if you, in your younger days, when you lived at home and men or women you're dating lived at home with their family, their parents, you would have to call the family phone and say, "May I speak to Patty, please," for example, right? May I ask who's calling? This is Eli. That's how it was, right? And typically you'd meet people through school or through, other social events, and if you had to stop talking with them, if you didn't feel it anymore or wanted to move away or break up with them or whatever, you had to call them on the phone, go through their parents, or you had to meet them in person and tell them to their face, right? Again, nowadays, that no longer happens because of modern technology, right? And caller ID, we know who's calling us before we even pick up the phone, right? So this world has become a lot more difficult to keep someone's attention and truly get to know people, right? So in a modern world of both men and women being ghosted, nowadays. Okay, how do you avoid this? Well, we're going to talk about, ladies, today, how you avoid this. Because what I've seen lately through some of the Reddit forums is that a lot of women are complaining that they're getting ghosted. Like, all of a sudden, this wasn't happening earlier this year or in previous years, but now towards the end of 2021, I'm starting to see women post on Reddit and say, this guy ghosted me after we talked for 2 weeks. We had great conversations for 2 weeks. And then he didn't talk to me for 4 days. So I reached out to him and asked him if he was still interested in talking and why we stopped talking all of a sudden. And she said he got back to her and said, well, it's only been 4 days. Come on, right? And to a certain extent, the dude is right. I mean, they were just talking for 2 weeks every day. And even if the conversation was going well, why did you talk on the phone for 2 weeks? Why don't you just talk on the phone for 1 night or 2 nights and then meet up for a walk or a hike or something? Meet up in person to see if the chemistry's there. Like, if you're going to talk with somebody from online dating on the phone for 2 weeks straight, that means neither one of you are really feeling it at the level of where you want to meet each other, have a strong enough desire to meet each other, right? But let's say even if the guy was attracted to the woman and the woman really wanted to get to know the guy, right? Why would the guy stop talking with her after 2 weeks if everything was great, right? This woman I saw in this posting, I may end up doing a pre-recorded video on this as well. Not on this channel, but wherever else I put that content. So she wrote back and said, I'm a very attractive woman in my early 30s. I've got my stuff together, got a good job, got, everything going for me, right? And right then and there, when I read that part of her story, I started to really realize what was probably happening here. What was happening during these conversations on the phone? And do women understand what men are attracted to and how to get a man's attention and keep his attention? Because if this woman was a really good-looking woman, he must have been a good-looking guy. So he's probably getting attention from other women as well, right? There are good-looking guys out there that get a lot of attention, right? It's not just the ladies that are attractive that get lots of attention. So do the attractive guys, right? Or good guys in general, right? So you as a lady have to stand out in order to get that guy to give you his undivided attention, right? So if she's really attractive and she's got a great job, makes good money, has her own home, her own car, everything, why is this guy not talking with her, right? In my opinion, my idea is that she was focusing her conversations too much on her job or non-sexual, non-flirty related things. And let me explain what I mean by that before the women go crazy and they say, oh, you really got to get to know a woman before you start flirting with her, or, you start to, see if there's a sexual connection or something. No. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The number one most important thing before anything else matters for a man and woman to connect in a relationship is having a large rush or spark of sexual attraction when you first meet. If that's not there, right when you meet each other, it'll never be there. It's game over, no matter how much you try to make it work after that. no matter how much you try to make it work after that. So what I think was happening here with this woman, let me see which way I'm going to go. I'm trying to avoid the construction zone. So I'm just going to go back over here. There's another guy coming, so I'll have to come this way. I don't want to interrupt him. Give me just a second, folks. Yeah, it's just really, really loud and lots of construction going on, and I really don't want to be doing streams at least for the next year here until this construction is done. But like I said today, I don't really have a choice because I need to be at a place where there are some overhangs instead, or in case, I mean, if it starts to rain. So what I think happened is that this guy was probably trying to flirt with her a little bit, trying to get her to loosen up, trying to see if she would flirt with him back. And she was probably stone cold. She probably was like, you know, I just met you, and you know, I think it's kind of, you know, to talk about flirty things, I think it's kind of too soon. No, it's never too soon. It's either there or it isn't. This is what a lot of women don't understand. Just because a guy is flirting with you the first time you talk on a dating app, or the first time you talk on the phone after you connect from a dating app or dating site, doesn't mean he has a one-track mind. Some guys do, and some women do too. But it doesn't mean he has a one-track mind necessarily. It means that he's trying to bond with you. He's trying to get you to open up. He's trying to get you to loosen up a little bit and just get a good feel for each other. See if you emotionally bond. See if you know, physically bond. Well, you can't really tell if you physically bond on the phone if you've seen each other's pictures and you're both a little flirty every now and then. Hey, why, you know, hey, Eli, you know, when I was looking for somebody, hey, Eli, yeah, you're really cute. You seem like a good guy, right? Those are the types of women you want to focus on. The ones that will quickly identify, yeah, you're really cute, you're a good-looking guy, and you seem to have your stuff together, right? The women that don't compliment your looks on a first phone call, it's never going to go anywhere. Because women, nowadays, I hate to say it, guys, I'll say it again, they're just as visual as we are. Maybe they always have been, they're just more apparent about it nowadays, right? It's all about sexual attraction. It's all about, initially, it's all about having a large rush or spark of sexual attraction. I keep saying that, I'll say it again. So this woman is going out on Reddit and posting, talked to this guy for 2 weeks, I'm very attractive, got all my stuff together, and he stopped talking with me. Well, ma'am, if you're that attractive and you got your stuff together, and I'm assuming this guy was attractive too, or you probably wouldn't have talked with him, why do you think he stopped talking with you? Because you didn't give him a clear signal that you were attracted to him, right? You were making it all business, right? You're making it all about your work and what you do at your job, how much you love your job. You were making it about boring things. Maybe you talked about politics or whatever. And here's the thing. Myself as a man, when I was on the dating scene, well, in the dating game, because now I've been seeing this woman for about a month and a half. When I was out there, I would be open to discussing those topics with women, politics and sports and, you know, other things such as work and stuff like that. But that would come after I knew for a fact that they were attracted to me physically and they started flirting with me a little bit. Here's a secret, ladies. You ladies care more about what guys do for a living, how much money we make, our resources, right? You still have to be physically attracted to us, right? But if you're physically attracted to us, you're not going to tell us that. You're going to focus more on, finding out about our resources before getting to know us or telling us that we're attractive. And here's the thing, for smart guys like myself and other guys nowadays that are figuring this out, we're not going to invest any time in you until we know you're physically attracted to us and you make us aware of that in some way, shape, or form on a first phone conversation. Because if you're not physically attracted to us and we can't figure out, us guys have also learned from our past mistakes. We've invested too much time in the wrong women. And you ladies have invested too much time in the wrong men. So why not find out as quickly as possible if you have that physical attraction for each other? Nothing wrong with starting off a phone conversation and make it a little flirty, right? I'm not saying overdo it, but start off a phone conversation. Hey, let's just use Jan. Let's make up a name. Hey, Jan. Hey, Jan, it's Bob from Match. It's nice to finally hear your voice, And she might say, nice to hear your voice too. Then you hear her voice and you can come back. If it's a cute, nice, sweet, feminine voice, you can come back and say, well, Jan, your voice is cuter than I expected it would be. She might say, oh, what do you mean by that? You have a really nice voice. And she might come back and say, well, are you used to talking to women that don't have a nice voice? Well, Jan, if you only knew the type of women I've talked to in the past and how their voice sounded like, you'd understand. I don't think it's necessary to go into any further detail, but you can figure out what I mean. Oh no, tell me what you mean. Well, that's when you start going into it. If you're like me and you say, all right, I've talked to women that sound like they're like they're a man. And she's like, well, what do you mean by that? Are they like, not really a woman? No, they're biologically a woman, but they just come off very, very overly assertive and strong. And I prefer somebody laid back, down to earth, and nice and sweet sounding like yourself. And see how she reacts to that. Some women might say, okay, it's too much. Maybe this guy is just coming off like he's too much. But if she's really into you, see, here's the kicker, guys. If a woman's really into you, she will be into you the moment she lays eyes on your profile, your pictures. And when you get on that phone call, if you say something like I just said, or you have a conversation starter like I just mentioned, you're going to find out where you really stand with her and where she stands with you rather than wasting time, right? If she responds positively to it and says, oh, you have a really nice masculine voice too, Eli, right? Or Bob or Jim or whatever, whoever it is, right? So now you've established that, right? Now you know you both like each other's voices. You've seen each other's pictures. Now you can talk about whatever, right? To a certain extent, right? You don't want to, go and talk about, overly sexual stuff, but you want to talk about, hey, what do you enjoy doing for fun? What do you enjoy doing during your spare time, right? And then once you get through that, maybe flirt a little bit more, and, throw in something. Well, you have a very interesting laugh. And she'll say, what do you mean by that? Well, I think your laugh is pretty cute. I like the way you answered that question. So, oh, thank you, right? And then after you go through that, you find out what she enjoys doing for fun. And if it's in alignment with you and you're kind of feeling it and you're kind of sensing that there's a good chance there's a connection there, at that point, I'd go into the conversation and find out more about what she does for a living and other things that really don't frickin' matter unless there's a connection, right? So ladies, here is the thing. I really want to get you ladies to understand that initially when you're talking with guys, it's not that they don't care at an overall basis about what you do or you working or whatever. It's the fact that we don't care about it until we know you're invested in us, right? No guy cares about how much money a woman makes, what type of job she does, what type of car she drives, does she own her own home or rent. No guy cares about any of that until we know you're invested in us, right? Because there's no point to knowing about something, at that level unless someone's invested in you and really likes you and you feel it's going to go somewhere, right? You have to understand that, ladies. Again, it's not that us guys don't care about your job in general or care about your home or anything else like that. But again, there's no reason to care about it until we know you're into us and there's a chance this may go somewhere, right? So if you're sitting there and you're talking about your job or your home, you're a homeowner and you got this nice car and you make $200K a year, as a woman you're a VP or whatever, right? And there's been like no flirting at all besides you just talking about that, that's a big turnoff for me. That's a total turnoff for me. It's a total turnoff for most guys. And most guys out there nowadays, are beginning to realize this. Why? Because more and more guys like myself are out here on YouTube and other social media platforms like Reddit and many others, and we're talking about this, right? And we're sharing these stories, right? And then you ladies are coming out and now sharing your stories about you getting ghosted, right? So more and more guys are putting two and two together, and they're beginning to realize what matters the most initially regarding the connection. And if a woman is not showing you, some signs of affection or romantic interest early on, it's never going to go anywhere. Don't invest too much time. A lot of women will come out and say, I really want to get to know a guy for a week or two before meeting him. And, I don't want to talk about anything intimate or romantic. If you get a woman like that, you need to bypass her. It's not about the fact that all you want to do is talk about intimacy or make it the first thing you talk about when you connect with her. But it's the fact that she's just not open to it in a natural way if it goes there, right? And again, I've said this before, guys. I'll say it again. And same thing for you ladies. Attraction is a must. It's not a choice. It's either going to be there when you first start seeing each other, when you first lay eyes on each other, or it will never be there no matter what you do or how hard you try to change it. It's a natural thing, right? You can have all the conversation in the world. You can talk to a woman by phone for 2 weeks and build this emotional bond over the phone. I used to do that in my younger days, right? I used to, in my younger days, if I were to meet a woman from the internet, or there used to be these phone line dating services that used to be a good way to meet women, like in the 90s, right? Before these online dating sites and dating apps came out, right? And I'd sit there and, I would talk to some women for 2 weeks or a month before meeting them. Like every night, we'd talk on the phone for a couple hours. Now, there were far fewer things to do back then. We didn't have streaming video and all that stuff and on-demand stuff and smartphones and dating apps and all that, right? So basically, we had fewer options back then. And if we found someone that we clicked with, at least personality-wise, we had the time to have these long phone calls every night. But where's the problem with that? If you talk to a woman, if you're a man and you talk to a woman for a month, and then you decide to meet up, and that large rush or spark of sexual attraction is not there from her or from you or both when you first lay eyes on each other and it goes nowhere, you just wasted a month of your time, energy, emotion, etc. for nothing, right? Now, there are a lot of women nowadays that are still like that. A lot of women try to slow down the process, right? And the women that try to slow down the process of meeting you, in my opinion, are just not ready to meet, or there's something that they've gone through in the past and they haven't worked through, and they're just trying to buy more time, to work through that issue. Or they're more so testing you, or they've got other guys they're talking to. You guys have to understand this, okay? If someone is, guys and gals, for both men and women, if someone is really into you, it's going to take off like a rocket right away. From the point of connecting on a dating site or dating app, sending a few messages, exchanging numbers is going to go smoothly. They're not going to give you any crap. I don't give my number out or anything like that. They'll give you their number or you'll give them yours. And then you'll talk on the phone either that night or the next night, right? And then you'll set up a date. Maybe the next night after that, on a weeknight, that you're both free, or at the latest the next weekend if you're both off. You got to go boom, boom, boom. That's the way it is. You got to go boom, boom, boom. And yeah, part of it has to do with the way the modern world is. We're very fast-paced. We have lots of options. So if you don't jump on something that feels right and keep moving forward and not hesitating, yeah, part of it has to do with that. But here's the thing: in any world, okay, even if it wasn't a fast-paced world, why would you want to invest your time? Or why would you not want to meet someone as soon as possible and see if the chemistry is there? It doesn't matter if it's the modern crazy world. Hey, Mo's better looking sister, how you doing? Hey, EMK, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. What's been going on? You staying out of trouble, staying out of the drama, EMK? You know I haven't been a part of that for ages. I've got a new structure here, and I've got a lot of different things going on. I've actually got to use the restroom, so I need to find a restroom that's still open around here. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is this. Both men and women want to find true love and happiness. Hello, Moteague. How you doing, man? How you been? Long time no see. What have you been up to, man? What's been going on? I'm at the park, and I'll show you folks. It's been, it's crazy under construction. Like they've totally blocked off even being able to turn around the other side in this parking lot the normal way, and they put a detour. They paved like a ramp to hop over. You see how right here there's like a divider there? So over here they've made a detour to drive into this thing earlier. So right there where the fence is at is where the actual road is at, and now they're using that driveway as a way to drive in the trucks. So right here is where you drive over to get to the other side. I wonder if I can get through over there. I'm good, Eli. We have been busy working. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, man, I'm doing great. Queen, can you kiss me and turn me into a prince? You're a frog to turn you into a prince? Well, Mo, if you think that you're a frog, that's your limiting belief, brother. That's how you see yourself. I think you're joking. But you know what, dude? If you want to be a Prince Charming, bro, all you have to do is say you're a Prince Charming. And start living that life where you love yourself and you're happy deep within no matter what. It's going to radiate off to the right people. You're going to attract the right people in your life, man. But yeah, it's great to see you here. So anyway, yeah, like I was saying, you know, this is the bottom line. Both men and women want to be loved. Both men and women want company, companionship. Both men and women want intimacy, sex, whatever you want to call it, right? Both men and women want that. It's just many people go about it a different way. It's a pretty simple concept. And if you learn this pretty simple concept of life, you're going to spare yourself a lot of time, trouble, and heartaches with the wrong people. Oh my goodness. He has been a goofball all day, Queen, LOL. Okay. I'm trying to see where I can go around here and avoid people. I'm going to go back the way I went because literally 1/3 of the park is closed. And there's not enough space to walk around people, and I just don't want to be interrupted or interrupt anybody. So again, folks, both men and women want true love and happiness. We all want the same things. It's just men and women go about it differently, right? But there, like I said, there's really only one way. There's really only one way for a connection to happen, for chemistry to happen. You have to have a large rush, also known as a large spark of sexual attraction, when you first lay eyes on each other, when you first meet. If that's not there, nothing else matters, right? You know, some of you guys have gone on first dates with women that say, "Oh, I really like you. I'm scared of being hurt and I'm a bit guarded." Well, that's BS. If she was really feeling it for you, it wouldn't matter how guarded she is. She would feel it and she would just naturally go with it, right? But even if she really is guarded, right? Maybe she just got out of a marriage, bad divorce, bad breakup, right? Then why is she putting herself out there? Maybe she's just not ready for it, right? But see, guys and gals, again, instead of wasting your time talking to a man or a woman for days or weeks on end, right? You could quickly find out if that connection is possible or it's not. You got to keep the process moving along. Have one phone conversation, and you as a guy say, "Hey, I'm really enjoying how this is going. Do you like how this is going?" "Yeah. You know, I'd like to meet up with you sometime soon if you're open to that. Maybe go for a walk or a hike," right? And see what they say. And if they come back and they say, "That sounds great. What do you have in mind? You know, Eli or Bob or whatever?" well, let me figure this out tomorrow throughout my workday, and I'll send you a text, and I'll let you know what I have in mind. We can plan something, and then maybe finalize it on another phone call tomorrow or whatever, right? In some cases, maybe it's a Friday night, you're on the phone with her, it's early enough, and she's like feeling spontaneous, and so are you. And she's like, how about we meet right now? Okay, that can happen at times. It all depends on the person you're talking with. Some men and women are open to being more spontaneous than others, right? If you're a spontaneous person like me, that, hey, I'd even meet someone at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, as long as I felt they were a safe person to be around, and we could find like a 24-hour Denny's or something to meet at or something, right? No problem. I'm that spontaneous, but not all women are like that, and same with men, right? So it just all depends on what you both feel comfortable doing, right? But if you're talking with that, woman as a guy, and she says, instead of open to making a date with you and meeting with you, well, I prefer that we talk once or twice more by phone before meeting. At that point, I would say this. Because, look, if she says that, that means she probably either has other options, and she's probably waiting to see if her better option is going to pan through. Or maybe she is a little bit guarded and scared. That's a possibility, but typically it's because of other options, right? Let her know, well, I'm a pretty busy guy, and I had to let the mailman go by there. So I would say, I'm a pretty busy guy, and I do have the time to get to know you, but I think, we've talked by phone enough. All that's left to see is that if we click together in person. So if you're not ready to meet at this point, I'm going to let you get going. Give me a call if you change your mind, and I'd be happy to set up a date, right? That's called the takeaway. Coach Corey Wayne talks about that. That's called the takeaway. The woman that's really interested in you and wants to meet you is going to find a way to meet you as soon as possible. You're going to hear that excitement. Even if, let's say, you're talking one night, right, and you both aren't available to meet that night, but you make plans for the next night or the night after that, right? A woman that's really interested with you or in you would probably say, I even meet you right now. Eli, if we lived closer to each other, or Bob, if we lived closer to each other, I really get that good of a feeling about you. That's the kind of woman you want to be talking with, guys. And on the flip side, you ladies want to be talking with a man that's that excited to see you. All of you young kids, and even some of you older folks, like around my age, all of you waste your time talking with people that aren't excited to want to meet you, or aren't excited to put themselves out there and find someone, right? You got to find someone, guys and gals, that's single and happy and is excited to find someone to share their life with them. You got to look at people's level of excitement. It is extremely important in dating. Extremely important. I'm going to go to those new restrooms and see how clean they are. So I'll be going off the air for a minute or two in a few minutes when I get there. And then I'll be back for another half hour. So we are at, where are we at? 49 minutes. I put my jacket on, but it's a little bit warmer than I expected. The moment I take it off, I bet it starts to rain and gets cold, right? It's a little bit humid because of the rain. Maybe that's why it feels a little bit warmer. But yeah, guys and gals, life is supposed to be fun and exciting and playful, right? Now, there are things you have to take seriously, such as your work, right? And stuff like that. But you don't have to project your work onto somebody new you meet just to, make yourself feel better, right? A lot of women like to talk about their work because they want to make sure the guy is accepting that she's a working woman, yada, 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 and they want to keep the guy from saying too much romantic stuff when they first meet. The truth of the matter is, if you're not feeling that romantic stuff when you first start talking, if there's no excitement because of the physical aspect of it, it's never going to go anywhere. Pretty warm but rainy here. Oh, that's cool, man. You mind saying where you're at, Gary, or is that too much? Queen said, well, if you would stop drinking coffee long enough, you wouldn't be having this problem. Well, I also haven't, I snacked on something very light, Queen, but anyway. Let me see here. Let me see. All right, so I'm going to go off the air here. I'll be back in a few. Much love and appreciation, man. Give me a second here. All right, folks, am I back? Can you hear me clearly and see me clearly? Fort Lauderdale today. Oh, you're in Florida. Am I back? I should be back. You're good. Thank you, Queen. Yeah, Queen. I understand if I were to drink less coffee. Thank you, Lewis. Glad to see you're still here, brother. I understand if I didn't drink as much coffee. I probably wouldn't have to use the restroom as much, but I love coffee, and I love the taste of coffee. I love the health benefits of coffee. There are some health benefits from drinking coffee. I like the caffeine. It keeps me alert. I love the feeling, but it is what it is, And Queen, there are highly opinionated people out there like yourself, and I respect you, Queen. I respect you. But, there are a lot of people that have lots of opinions on things. You're one of them. I'm one of them. I get it. I live on coffee and sugar-free monsters. I'm pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same, Gary. Pretty much the same. I love the sugar-free monsters, Red Bulls. And what's the other one? Rockstar. I love sugar-free Rockstars as well too. And they've come up with so many flavors nowadays, And let me tell you, these sugar-free drinks, basically they're doing away with the word diet. They're just calling them zero sugar, right? Or sugar-free, right? These very low to no calorie drinks nowadays, they taste pretty damn good. Well, that's because they they load them up with a bunch of sodium, because you have to flavor it somehow, right? But still, I'd prefer to drink diet soda than regular soda. I mean, too much soda is not good for you, diet or not. But at least the zero calorie stuff is not going to gain you a ton of pounds very quickly. A lot of obesity is due to people drinking tons of regular soda with sugar and lots of calories. If I drank as much regular soda as I did diet soda, I would be over 300 pounds right now. No doubt about it. Now, I would never let myself get to that level, but if I did do that, if I did drink as much regular soda as I drink the sugar-free stuff, yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be a beach ball. A pretty big beach ball. But yeah, so anyway, just to kind of wrap up the topic, and then I can share a few other things with you folks. So ladies, the reason why you're getting ghosted is because, again, you're not really taking into consideration what's attractive to men, right? What's attractive to men are your looks and your personality. Are you an attractive woman? You don't have to be in the perfect shape, right? But I'm saying is, are you attractive to him physically? And do you have a down-to-earth, sweet, easygoing, non-pushy, non-clingy personality? The Amazon Prime Mobile is here. Amazon Prime. They've got these new electric vehicles all over the country now, so it's interesting because that's a Florida license plate on that Amazon vehicle. Why in the world is there an Amazon vehicle in California with a Florida license plate? Do some of these vehicles drive certain products cross country? Wow. It's that same kid that was here the other day. That kid was literally going 50 miles an hour down a 25 zone on a scooter. I heard that thing like 3 blocks away. He's probably like removed the muffler or something because it's pretty loud and it's giving him some extra power. That thing is not stock. That's when you wonder, where is Redwood City Police to pull that kid over and knock some sense into him before he either, gets seriously hurt or worse, or seriously hurts somebody else or worse. Wow. It is what it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go as far as I can go to the other side and then come back, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I've had to kind of change up my route again because of the fact that there's a lot of construction happening here. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. I mean, there are clouds on the other side, but it's not going to rain probably till later this evening or tonight. It'll be definitely raining overnight though, which is great because I love sleeping to the natural sounds of rain. Yes, they're supposed to be electric. They can go wherever they want. Call the police for his safety. Yeah, but he's gone, man. What am I going to do? Hey, there's this kid that's driving a illegally modified, kiddie motorbike. It looks like he modified the tires, too. That thing had some fat tires on it. You see, I wouldn't be surprised if that kid's dad's a mechanic and he helped him build that, right? You'd be surprised nowadays the things that parents let their kids get away with. You know why? Because That way it keeps them out of the house longer and they can spend time with the wife or whatever, right? But still, what happens one day when your son or daughter doesn't return back home because of something you allow them to do or help them build, like that illegal bike, and they got into an accident and didn't return? How would they feel at that point, right? People don't think about these things until it's too late, right? They're thinking, okay, this will keep my son out of the house more. He can go visit his friends. I don't have to drive him, right? Some people are just really, really messed up. It's just the way it goes nowadays, I guess. But again, guys and gals, the bottom line is this. I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Repetition is the mother of skill, okay? There's either going to be a large rush or spark of sexual attraction when you first meet a man or a woman, when you first lay eyes on each other, or there isn't. So there's really no point in waiting it out or talking on the phone more than once or even twice, if that, right? If you're going to talk with somebody on the phone a second time that you are planning on meeting from online dating, you only talk to them a second time if it's, to set the plans, right? Let's say you talk the first night and you're like, yeah, let's meet. Let's figure out our schedules and talk tomorrow, and we'll have a brief talk tomorrow night and we'll finalize the plans. That's fine. But again, there's no point in talking with someone for 2 weeks straight, 2 hours each night, when you're not going to know if it's fully there until you see each other, the moment you see each other, right? Don't waste your time, guys and gals, right? And here's the thing, these women that come out and now that are posting on Reddit, and even the guys, but let's just talk about the women. The woman that posted this posting, wondering why, after 2 weeks of talking to this guy, and she's attractive and has all her shit together, why he stopped talking with her. Well, if she really knew what she was doing and she wasn't afraid to meet somebody and get something going, she wouldn't have had even the time to make that posting, right? It really, really makes me, excuse me, it really makes me wonder. For the women that say they truly want something and they wonder why they're being ghosted, and the reason why they're being ghosted is because they're taking too long to meet the guy, or they're focusing on their work too much, or talking about their work and they're not being flirty enough, right? And they're not meeting the guy right away. They're talking with him for 2 weeks. So then they're complaining that the guy stops talking with them, right? During those 2 weeks, that dude is probably talking to 1 or 2 other women. Probably met one and they probably hooked up. It could have been you, ma'am. But instead of you calling them up and saying, hey, let's meet right now, let's see what happens, right? You go on Reddit and complain about it, right? It's hilarious. Hey, at least these people going out there on Reddit and doing these kind of things gives me something to talk about. If we all started paying attention to the few people that understand this stuff at the level I do, I'll tell you there'd be far fewer postings on Reddit. But I don't see that changing anytime soon because it takes people a long time to realize this. It really does. So folks, men and women, just go for it. You feel a connection, keep it moving forward. If you're a guy, keep it moving forward. Get it from the dating site or app, messaging program, to getting their real number, to talking on the phone, and then meeting shortly after that. Boom, 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 boom. Again, If you're really into her and she's into you as much as you're into her, it's going to go boom, 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 boom. You're going to meet. It's going to take off like a rocket. If it doesn't go boom, 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 it wasn't meant to be. And I'll tell you guys and gals, 99% of the time, it's not meant to be. So 9 out of every 10 people you meet, it's just not meant to be. And if you can figure that out throughout the process and cut it off before wasting your time meeting the wrong people, you're going to have more energy and be in a better place and in a better mood when the right person comes along. If things just don't go smoothly and don't keep moving along, like I said, from the dating site or dating app, messaging program to getting their phone number, and then not giving you any crap about asking for their number. If they do give you crap, move on. Okay? If they give you their number, give them a call. Have a little flirty fun. Get to know each other. Feel if that excitement is there. If it is, set up a date as soon as possible. Within that week, maybe that same night if possible, maybe the next day, or at least by that weekend. But if it doesn't happen like that, folks, if you lag during one of these steps, even if, let's say, you've gotten to the point of where everything's good, and you set up a time to meet, and then you cancel out one time or she cancels out, that's it, it's over. A man and a woman that are totally into each other from the very beginning, and it's all there, they're not going to be flaky, they're going to be consistent, they're going to keep moving it forward. That's what you have to look for. If at any point along the way you have some resistance from either side, move on. It's not meant to be. It's as simple as that. I don't know what more to tell you, folks. It's as simple as that. But the problem nowadays is a lot of these guys are so enamored when a beautiful, sexy woman gives them any time of day that they don't, even if they notice these signs, they just overlook them. I'll tell you this. As I've gotten older, before I found this woman I'm seeing now, as I've gotten older, I've actually had many really, really hot, super hot women communicate with me, right? But then they try to put me through this whole ringer and this and that. And I'm like, screw this. That doesn't work for me, right? And these women know they're super hot. The super hot women know they're super hot, right? And they know that most guys are enamored by their looks and they can get their way. But when they would come across me, I would treat them like a normal, average, everyday woman, which to me, that's all they are, right? But I would typically end those conversations quickly. There are times in the past where hot women have connected with me through dating apps, and I just immediately blocked them. Some of them were probably spamming, others were legit, but I would read their profile and it didn't mesh with me. And I'm like, I'm not going to try to convince this woman just because she connected with me and she's very attractive. I'm not going to try to pretend to like the things she says she likes in her profile when I don't, just to be with a hot woman. No. Guys, you're going to get to the point in your life where you're not going to be fazed by a woman's beauty. Yes, it's nice to be with an attractive woman. And yes, you want to find as attractive of a woman as possible because they want to find as attractive of a man as possible. And you should take care of yourself and be as attractive as possible. But at some point in your life, you're going to have to realize that there's more to life than looks. And you cannot allow looks to control your better judgment. More and more guys, I'm beginning to see this finally. This, folks, I wasn't able to see this before. Because it wasn't as apparent before. I'm starting to see more and more women, just, I'd say over the last few months, on the internet, especially Reddit, complain that they're getting ghosted. And that to me is a good sign that all the men that create content like I do, like a lot of men create content just for men. I do it for men and women on this channel at least. Okay, I'm gonna have other places where I'm creating content just for men, but this my main channel here on YouTube is for men and women. Okay, all men and women. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. My apologies. I had something very, very good to say and I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back. That happens at times. Let this big truck pass me by. All right. I think you folks get the hint on what I'm saying there. Again, I keep sounding like a broken record, but that's the only way that you folks are going to learn. When you guys and gals figure this out, it's going to turn your life around. That's what I wanted to say. When you guys start to figure out what really matters for true love and romance to happen, right? You'll focus on that and you will quickly withdraw when you know it's not there. And as long as, you see, the thing is, sometimes women just want to have a conversation with a guy, like a therapist, right? Sometimes women that are not attracted to you physically, like maybe you're not their typical type, but you're still okay looking, and they see that, but they still would prefer a hotter guy, right? But you're a smart guy, a good guy, and they can get something from you in another way, such as emotional support. Like if they can sense you're a guy that's good at emotionally supporting women, and they're not attracted to you, a lot of times women will drag on talking with you on the phone for a couple weeks at a time, because you're helping her work through something else, and you're curing her blues, and you're like a free therapist to her, right? You don't want to get caught up in that role. That's why it's very important to find out how sexually attracted they are to you as soon as possible, because that's the only way you're going to know that it's something real. If a woman is not sexually attracted to you, or if you're not sexually attracted to her, right, but you still like each other in other aspects, then it becomes a game of what can the woman get from you without having to give you shit. Okay? What's that phrase? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free, when you can squeeze the milk for free, right? Why do women have to invest into doing things for a man when they can get most things from most men by doing nothing, right? So, guys, don't put yourself in that position. You have to learn to identify that. Maybe that's what was happening with this woman on Reddit. Maybe this guy realized after 2 weeks that this woman was just using him as a therapist. She's a hot woman that has her stuff together in her early 30s, single, never been married, no kids. That says a lot to me. If you're a hot woman and you have your shit together and you got a good job, nice car, nice house, you have all that, but you can't keep a guy around, then there's something wrong with your attitude. There's something wrong with you emotionally or mentally or whatever, right? You guys have to learn to look for that. If it doesn't feel right, you're going to know. Most guys can even tell. Even most beta males can tell when it doesn't feel right, the moment it doesn't feel right. But because the woman is so hot and they hardly get attention from hot women, they keep on trying instead of just withdrawing and moving on. I want to help you guys learn to withdraw every time when it's wrong. And same with you women, withdraw every time it's wrong. Don't waste any more time than you absolutely need to when getting to know someone if you know it's just not going to go there. that's it. All right, so I'm done with the topic. I'm heading back to my car. We're going to be wrapping this up in about 10 to 15 minutes, folks. So get your questions, comments, concerns in. I'm going to have an early dinner tonight, and then I'm going to be recording some pre-recorded videos regarding the content I'm going to be putting out for men only elsewhere. And I've pretty much set things up, but I do want to get a good amount of content before I make you folks aware of where this content is going to be at. So that way, when I launch this, whenever that may be, there's going to be a bunch of videos on there. And the people that connect with me there are going to have a good idea of the direction of that content. Have a good one, Eli. We'll look for another stream from you soon. Thank you, Gary, for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. Queen Helen Casey says, I already know which platform that I want to be on, but I won't say in the chat, and I need help with it, please. Queen, tomorrow, like I was telling you the other day, I'll get with you and the moderators tomorrow. It's going to be late morning, early afternoon, so it's going to be probably in the mid-afternoon for you on the East Coast. I'm looking at around 10 or 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern, Queen. I will get into the Coach Eli private moderator chat behind the scenes, and I will initiate a voice call through that group, and anyone that wants to join can join, and we will talk about all that. But Queen, I I don't blame you for not wanting to put it out there publicly. I don't blame you for not wanting to put it out there publicly, at least not at this point. I'm sure you have a strategy, and I will help you with that, Queen. And I honestly think, Queen, wherever you take your content, if there is a live aspect, you and I could probably do some videos or streams together. It's very interesting when you can be friends with someone like we are, Queen. And I'm not saying we disagree on everything. There are a lot of things we do agree on, Queen, but we do disagree on many things. But we get along and we can learn from those disagreements. And see, for me, that's all I've ever wanted, is to have conversations with people that not necessarily have to agree with everything, but can respectfully disagree, and we could share our differences and learn from our differences, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, Mo, if you're still around, thank you for the $2 super sticker earlier. Folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. Going to be going off the air in about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 12 minutes. We are at 1 hour and 19 minutes. Just give me a second here. See, there's the sun. I mean, you can see some clouds. It's kind of spread apart. There are patches of clouds and patches of clear sky. But yeah, the rainy season is back. Yeah, I really look forward to starting to record these pre-recorded videos to better help men understand, becoming, a better person, right? what I really, really want to do is help men become better men. Because when men become better men, women will also just naturally become better women. And with no disrespect, I understand women are liberated, and I get that you ladies can do things on your own nowadays, but here's the thing. You ladies, no matter what, you still want to, you still want to have men in your life, and we still want to have you ladies in our lives. It's a natural biological thing for men and women to be together. And if men can learn to become better men again, and become leaders, and become assertive, but also kind at the same time. When I say assertive, I don't mean like an arrogant, pompous ass. I mean like a guy that just knows his direction, knows where he's going, knows how to be a good leader, but is respectful too, right? And it's not about being with a woman and saying, "Hey, woman, we're going to go here, whether you like it or not." That's not being a good leader. That's being a jerk. A good man that's a good leader is going to be, "Hey, babe, I'm thinking about, is that you, Adelaide? Adelaide's Advice Addict. How you doing? Tomorrow I have to go out," says Queen. "Okay, well, we'll do another time then, Queen. I will be getting that Wi-Fi repeater next Thursday. Can't wait until it comes in," says Lewis. Adelaide's Advice Addict. Hi, everyone. Hey, Adelaide, how you doing? Welcome to the show. We're going to go off the air in about 5 to 10 minutes. See, I forgot what I was saying now. I had a good thought and I lost it. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, I have to go get something from the store tomorrow. All right, Queen, that's cool. No worries. Well, the Zappi Family Circus is back, but it's at the downtown library. I'm curious to drive by there and check it out. Like, is this a wooden sign, or is this like plastic? Okay, yeah, it's plastic. It's actually like foam with like a clear coat to protect it from the rain. All right. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat, folks. Going to be going off the air in just a few. Come around this way here. I think I remember what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I remember now. So, if I can help men become better men, it's going to help women out too. Because women won't have to try to teach men how to be men like many women have had to do in this modern world, because a lot of these guys are not raised the proper way. They don't have a good masculine role model in their house. Maybe their mother is more of the leader in the household, or maybe the father skipped town and the mother had to do the mother and the father role, right? And that's hard, right? It's going to confuse these kids nowadays, and it has, right? And so you have a lot of women that, even the women that had a good upbringing, are just dealing with lots of men that are just very feminized, that are just not strong men. And these women have to they try to teach these men, right? To mold them into what they want them to be, which it never ends up working out in the end because women are attracted to a man's strength. Women are not attracted to men that they have to train to be the man that they want them to be, right? They just want that man to be a man, right? So again, I'm going to just start focusing outside of this channel. I'm going to start focusing my content towards men. Women can learn from that content as well too. Because like I said again, if we help men become better men, it's going to make your lives a lot easier, ladies. A lot easier. And like I've said in the past, I'll say it again. I think a lot of the issues we have nowadays are more so coming from men and not women. Yes, women have issues too, don't get me wrong. But men just don't know how to be men anymore. And even when women have a normal, natural moment, you know, of getting emotional or something, a lot of these men don't know how to handle that when they're with a woman like that. They'll end up getting mad at her, further making her mad instead of just being cool and calm and being her rock and saying, babe, I understand you're going through something. Come here, give me a hug. Just know I've got your back, right? When a woman's in an emotional state, she's coming to you to balance that out. She's coming to you to be her rock. And if all you're doing is throwing back at her what she's throwing at you, you're going to further enrage her. You're going to make it 10 times worse. Part of knowing how to do that as a man is being a man. And if you've had a horrible upbringing and don't know what it's really like to be a man, or don't know what you should be like as a man, you're the kind of guys I want to help. And there are a lot of you out there. Again, if we can help our modern men become better men, better, stronger men. And I don't mean just physically stronger. I mean mentally and emotionally, especially emotionally stronger. The rest will just all fall into place. All right, everyone. We are at 1 hour and 28 minutes. We're about to wrap this up, almost an hour and a half. I probably got about a good 3 miles in, even though I kind of did a weird route here at the park today. It didn't rain, so that's good. So I'm going to go home and have an early dinner and start recording some pre-recorded videos, and I'll see you all again tomorrow from another walk. Whether it rains or not, I'll find a way to do one. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye. We're out. Peace out.